The Fever posted on X, "We have waived Megan McConnell, Jessica Timmons, and Kiana Traylor." And you see the thank yous here for Megan and Jessica and Kiana.
The axe just fell, and it was absolutely ruthless. Just 3 days before opening night, the Indiana Fever front office walked into the locker room, looked 3 players in the eye, and delivered the kind of news that can shatter professional careers. Megan McConnell, Jessica Timmons, Kiana Traylor, all waived. Just like that. 3 guards gone in an instant. 3 women who spent the last several weeks fighting for their basketball lives, grinding through practices, film sessions, and high-pressure scrimmages, only to be shown the door before the season even began. And now, the Indiana Fever's 2026 roster is officially locked in. 12 active roster spots, 1 developmental contract, and a brutal season opener against the Dallas Wings only 72 hours away. This is the WNBA, and nothing is guaranteed. Today, we're breaking down exactly who made the cut, who had their dreams crushed, and what this final roster really means for the Fever heading into what could be the biggest season in franchise history. Let's start with the heartbreak, because in the WNBA, the margin between making a team and losing everything is razor thin. This isn't the NBA. There are no endless roster spots or million-dollar two-way contracts waiting at the end of the bench. If you get cut here, you're fighting for your entire basketball future.
I like Megan here because she really did have a cool story. Her brother, of course, TJ McConnell of the Indiana Pacers. That would have been really cool to have that tandem. And she was on her way from visiting her brother in Indiana when she got the call about being invited to training camp. So that was really an exciting story. And I think one that people were kind of pulling for because they like TJ, because this is a great human interest story.
Megan McConnell, sister of Indiana Pacers guard TJ McConnell and the Atlantic 10 Defensive Player of the Year out of Duquesne, entered camp as a massive underdog. But she competed like an absolute warrior. Against Nigeria, she played 11 minutes, grabbed 3 steals, and handed out 3 assists while bringing non-stop defensive intensity. But Indiana's backcourt is already stacked. Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, Raven Johnson, Tasha Harris, Jatori Walker, Kimbrough. There simply wasn't room left. McConnell's Cinderella story in Indiana is officially over. She now heads to waivers, and if no team claims her within 48 hours, she becomes an unrestricted free agent. Then there's Jessica Timmons, the rookie out of Alabama who flashed serious scoring upside during preseason. Remember her debut against the New York Liberty? 10 points on 4 of 6 shooting. Quick release. Fearless confidence. Instant offense. But in the end, General Manager Lynn Dunn and head coach Stephanie White chose veteran experience and defensive reliability over raw upside. And finally, the toughest cut of them all, Kiana Traylor.
Now, this is the way it is. Now, I expected Traylor to remain. I did. I thought that she would make the team, and who knows what's going to happen, like I said, but I felt like she came out, she was intense, she did a good job, she did a decent job in all 3 of those games, and so I thought she would make the cut. At this point, not the case. Now, we do know
Traylor arguably had the best preseason debut of any bubble player on the roster. Against the powerhouse New York Liberty, she scored 8 points on 3 of 5 shooting and posted a +8 rating in under 11 minutes. She looked composed, confident, and completely comfortable at the professional level. She defended. She hustled. She made shots. She did everything you could possibly ask from a player fighting for a roster spot. And she still got cut. Why? Because the numbers are brutal. There are only 144 roster spots in the entire WNBA. Indiana had 15 deserving players competing for 12 openings. Someone had to go. Now the cuts are over, and the final Fever roster is officially set. Here's how it breaks down.
Against the New York Liberty, we were cheering for them. We were thinking, oh my goodness, we've got great players to choose from. And we did have great players to choose from. I'm not saying that we didn't. I'm just saying that that first game was like eyes wide open. And then you had the game against the Dallas Wings and the game against Nigeria. When you look at
guards Caitlin, Clark, Kelsey, Mitchell, Raven, Johnson, Tasha, Harris, Chatori, Walker, Kimbrough. This backcourt is built for speed, transition offense, and non-stop pressure. Clark is the franchise centerpiece, the engine of the entire operation. Mitchell is the elite scoring guard fresh off a Supermax contract. Raven Johnson brings perimeter defense and backup ball handling the Fever desperately needed. Tasha Harris provides veteran stability. Walker Kimbrough is the microwave scorer who can explode offensively at any moment. Forwards and wings Sophie Cunningham, Aisha, Hines Allen, Monique Billings. This group brings toughness, physicality, and defensive versatility. Cunningham stretches the floor and plays with relentless edge. Hines Allen adds post playmaking and veteran toughness. Billings brings athleticism and defensive switching ability. Centers Aaliyah Boston, Michaela Timpson, Damaris Dantas. Boston remains the untouchable anchor of the franchise. Timpson is emerging fast after shooting an impressive 8-for-9 over her last 2 preseason games. Dantas provides critical floor spacing with her ability to knock down threes and pull opposing bigs away from the paint.
Breaking, as I am editing this video, I saw the news. Annie Costable posted that Marta Suarez was signed to a developmental contract. No, not by the Indiana Fever, but by the Phoenix Mercury. The Phoenix Mercury. And along those...
Then there's the 13th player, Justine Pissett. The 6'4" sharpshooter out of Vanderbilt officially lands on a developmental contract, a clever roster move that allows Indiana to keep her in the system without fully impacting the salary cap. She practices with the team, travels with the team, sits in every film session, but she can only be activated for 12 regular season games. Now, despite all the hype, there are still major concerns surrounding this roster. The frontcourt depth behind Aaliyah Boston is dangerously thin. If Boston misses significant time, Indiana could get overwhelmed inside against elite teams like the Las Vegas Aces or Minnesota Lynx. And then there's Lexi Hull. Her injury situation is becoming increasingly concerning after missing all 3 preseason games with a hamstring issue. Hull's 47% three-point shooting next to Caitlin Clark is absolutely vital to Indiana's spacing. Without her, defenses can trap Clark aggressively and clog the offense. The Fever need her back, fast.
That the Fever has a spot still to fill. And I'm talking about in the 12-player roster. So people are saying, okay, so now we see if they're going to waive all 3 of them, like I was thinking 2, they're going to waive all 3 of them, that would suggest that they're getting someone who has been waived, someone who's out there ready for the taking. Some people are talking about Marta Suarez because the Valkyries got rid of her. That's a whole situation in and of itself.
Because this roster was built for maximum impact when healthy and maximum vulnerability when injured. There is no middle ground. Opening night is almost here. Dallas Wings versus Indiana Fever. Saturday, May 9th. 1 p.m. Eastern. ABC National Television. Caitlin Clark versus Paige Buchers. The entire country will be watching. The roster is finalized. The cuts are over. The excuses are gone. Now it's time to see whether this Fever team can actually live up to the hype